Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 30th of July. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director of Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have Australis, CSL, Australian Financial Group, Wiser and Afterpay. So if you have a request, send it through. Make sure you've signed up to the newsletter. If you enjoy these videos, we'd love for you to share them on social media and leave us a review on Google or Facebook. Remember, we have other services, so if you need more help with your portfolio, please give us a call. And of course, any advice here is general only. So daily chart of Australis. So as we can see over the last several weeks, it's twice tried to rally towards that $4 level, only to be sold down. So, not exactly a good sign there, but on a positive note, it is holding on to this gap up in May. So we could see here that it did gap up, and so far over the last several weeks, it's been holding above that. So that's a good sign. I mean, it looks like it wants to try to rally. It just needs to, I guess, just use up some more time. So it's not going anywhere in a hurry, of course. I think it's just a matter of time until we start to see some bullish price action. But just bear in mind, it does need to hold on to this gap. So I think if it starts to trade down here and falls under $3, then that would be a concern. CSL, so in terms of, so far this calendar year, it's pretty much back to where it started the year, which is an outperformance compared to the broader market, that's for sure. But over the last few months, it has underperformed by just sort of edging lower and lower over the last few months. So at the moment, it looks like it's trying to retest these March lows. The extreme in March was all the way down here, but generally, it was around these sorts of levels where we saw the buying support for CSL. So I suppose at the end of the day, it looks like it's trying to test that. Look, longer term, it's fine. I mean, if we pull up the weekly chart, that's still an uptrend, in my opinion. And in terms of the recent pullback, it's very corrective compared to the rally here. So we could see that we had a 3 or 4 week rally, and then to come back and test it has taken it 3 or 4 months. So, in the greater scheme of things, that's not negative. I think it's just a matter of time until it ticks up again. Australian Financial Group. So if we have a look at the daily chart, the first thing that caught my attention was this decline here. So what we've seen is over the last sort of few weeks or so, we've seen a decline that's started to sort of slow down and round out, and that's right on what looks like a key support level. So this $1.60 level looks like important support, and it's basically rounded out there, and we could see on the way down, it was on lower volume. So high volume here on the way up, and then on the way down, lower volume. So that's a good sign. Look, at the moment, I think the chart's looking good. It just needs to stay above $1.60. So I think a decline under that is obviously a concern. But as long as it can stay above $1.60, I think it's just going to continue heading higher. Okay, Wiser. So this is the daily chart. We could see it's been steadily increasing off the March lows, which is good. So nothing too, nothing too dramatic. Just a nice sustainable trend, which is good. It's making higher highs, higher lows, doing all the right things. There's not really too much to add. I mean, the only thing I'd point out is the prior low here, which is around 22 cents. It just needs to hold on to that. So, in the course of this trend, I think if it was to come back and then reverse off here, that's fine. But I think if it breaches this level, to me, that would be the stop loss level. And Afterpay, obviously really good run the last few months. In terms of sort of late June, early July, it really ran hard in this period here, and I think it just needs to consolidate that move a bit more. So that's what we're seeing at the moment. bit of a pullback, a rally, sort of another decline. This doesn't look negative at all, in my opinion. So, the last sort of few days, it's sort of come back fairly orderly. It hasn't just been belted, and it's holding onto this prior low. So, as we could see here, this is the level where I think it should find support and bounce. Now, whether it from this point, whether it goes to a new high or it needs to just continue to track sideways, I don't know. But overall, so far, this consolidation looks pretty orderly, and there's no danger signs. And at the moment, I'd say that whenever it breaks out of this range, it's probably going to be to the upside and resume the uptrend. Okay, well, that's all for this week. If you have a request, send it through. I'll try to include your stock for you.